Hey, what's up, guys, and welcome to a brand new episode of Paranormal Axetvities with your host, Ben Axe. Very excited about today's episode as we're going to talk with Keith Linder. He is the author of the Bothell Hell House. He has a website called demonsinseattle.com, and there's a documentary on YouTube all referencing the experiences he has encountered at a house he lived at in Bothell, Washington, near Seattle. It's a pretty interesting story. I'm really excited for you guys to hear it from the person who experienced it himself. It's going to be a great episode. Actually, it's going to be a great two-part episode as the story is so complex, it takes more than one episode to hear. And I was going to tell you guys another activity of the week. Unfortunately, this past week has been pretty slow and busy, actually. I haven't really had a whole lot of time to sit here and look for paranormal stuff. There was one little thing. I don't even think it counts, but we had our smoke detector go off the other night. We were sleeping, and it started beeping because it needed a new battery. So I took the battery out, kept beeping, so I just unplugged the whole detector, took it off the wall, and it stopped beeping. And then a couple of days later, I walked past it during the daytime, and it beeped one more time at me. According to the Twitter, it's probably just a surge in the device, so probably not ghostly. So there you have it. There's the very boring activity of the week. But since, that's not what we're here today, we're here today to hear from Keith Linder. So let's go ahead and get this interview going. Mr. Keith, how are you doing today, sir?
Pretty good, Ben. How's it going?
I'm doing well, thank you. I hope you're doing okay there. I know you live near Seattle, as we just discussed before we went live here, and I know you said it's kind of crazy over there, so I really hope you're staying safe and doing well with the social distancing.
Yeah, same to you. I've been out of Seattle, probably more places in the country. I've been sheltered in place. I'm going on like week 5, week 6. I lose count now. Late February is when we started. I think it became mandatory early March. So, it's been kind of weird.
Yeah, that's crazy. I think we went mandatory shutdown around March 18th or so, whatever weekend that was. Like you said, it all kind of runs together now. So I'm back to work now. I was off for 2 weeks, but it's still a ghost land out here in Ohio. So
yeah,
all right,
same here.
All right, excellent. We'll go ahead and get started here. I know you have a book. You have a couple of books out, from what I understand, called the Bothell Hell House. Is that correct?
My story was so in-depth and complex that it was just impossible to get everything into one book.
Oh.
I could, but I would have left a lot of interesting, much-needed facts out. So, there's 2 books. The Bothell Hell House, Poltergeist of Washington State, is part 1. Attachments, Poltergeist of Washington State, part 2 is the part 2 portion of that story, and that came out in November of last year. So both books, Bothell, the Hell House came out, or the Bothell Hell House came out 2018, and Attachments came out in November of 2019.
Okay, excellent. And you also have a website called the demonsinseattle.com. I want to make sure everybody knows and can go to and check out. And that website, I kind of checked it out, has all kinds of information regarding your story and some fact checking and that kind of stuff. It was really neat to look at.
Yeah, I wanted to be there's portions of the website that talk about the timeline, and we can talk about that today, about the poltergeist phenomena in my house and the timeline of how things transpired. Long story short, things began slowly and gradually, like most poltergeist cases do, and then just crescendo, and you're in the eye of the storm. As well, on the website are statements from witnesses, documentation evidence from paranormal teams, reports, a lot of photo and some video.
Excellent. Alrighty, great. And like I said, when we go through here, I'll on the show page, you guys can go ahead and check the show notes, and all of these website links will be there, along with the book website and the directories and all of that good stuff. But if you want to, Keith, and go ahead and just kind of start from the beginning and tell us what your story is in reference to all of these books and websites.
Yeah, our story, and this includes me and my ex-girlfriend, girlfriend at the time, Tina, pretty much almost sounds cliche or Hollywood-esque in the sense that we just bought a house, had moved into a house, suburbs of Seattle, May 1st, 2012. I had my own place of residence. She had her own place of residence. And we were together 2 years already. And we just wanted to, try the living under one roof thing. Absolutely. And May 1st, we went to this lovely home. We found it on Craigslist, late March, early April. Inquired about it, fell in love with it, toured it, liked it, put an offer down, got accepted. So this day we were just going to pick up keys and sign papers. Nothing weird or special about that. But when we get there, it's a nice May spring day, sunny, birds are chirping. Kids were playing hopscotch on the sidewalk. And we walk into the house. The homeowner is there waiting for us. The house is vacant, it's virtually empty. He's got the papers already drawn out. Got a bottle of wine next to them. Got a pen. We're signing the papers. We're being very thorough. He's handing out keys to me and Tina. He's giving us a tour one more time of the entire establishment, shakes our hand, and leaves. Now it's just me and Tina in the home, and we're sitting down in the living room, the room closest to the front door. And maybe about, a couple of minutes into our conversation, we're just lollygagging, talking about, what's going to go where you're going to put this furniture, that furniture. I want this room to be my office. Talking about an upstairs. It's a 2-story home. And in the midst of us talking, out of the blue, we hear a kid cough. And it was very distinct in the sense that we both paused our conversation and we looked at each other and said, at the same time, mind you, was that a kid cough? And it sounded like it came from upstairs. Could not really tell which room. But, when a house is empty, virtually empty, things echo very well. Sound travels pretty good.
Oh, absolutely.
And we heard it very distinctly. And it was weird because all the windows are closed. It's only me and Tina. We don't have any children. The electricity hasn't even been turned on in the home yet. And here comes this kid cough. Well, we gave it about 5 minutes of what was that, and then we just shrugged it off. We that had to have come from outside, even though it felt weird. But, when you're excited about a new home and you got a laundry list of things to do, a lot of things to get done, kid cough goes to the very bottom of your psyche.
Nope, that makes sense. Absolutely.
And you don't give it any more thought for the remainder of that day and days after until a few weeks now we're moving in. Now the moving process has begun. And one of the things I noticed that was missing was my second or extra pair or set of, I had a primary car fob and I had a secondary car fob that I never used, ever. I've had this car, I think, 5 years at that time. This car fob was in my glove box in my safe at my apartment. I remember moving my glove box and my safe myself. However, when I went to go retrieve an item, I noticed my car fob was missing. And I thought to myself, darn it, how did I lose my car fob that's locked in a glove box that I rarely visit? And I shrugged it off again. I was like, well, maybe it'll turn up somewhere else. Maybe I did a poor job transporting it here. But, people who know me know Keith does not lose things. When you live single or live by yourself for as long as I've lived, you don't lose things, and you become a creature of habit. Things stay where you put them.
Absolutely.
Or they should. Well, at the same time, Tina is coming to me a few days later saying, have you seen my earring? Have you seen my bracelet? Have you seen my watch? She has multiple jewelry items missing. And me, have not ever lived with Tina. I didn't even know these objects existed except when she wore them. So my answer to her was no. And that was weird.
Absolutely.
And then what? Go ahead.
Oh, absolutely. That's. I mean, if she's losing jewelry that you don't touch, that's definitely crazy.
Yes, and then so this is June, almost July. Now we're still getting settled, getting acclimated into the home, still unpacking, and you just have a mental thought of these things are going to show up sooner or later on their own. And one day I remember we were having dinner or breakfast, and I went to go retrieve a silverware fork, spoon, or knife out of the drawer, kitchen drawer, and I realized how little we had in the drawer, and I remember making a mental note to myself of I could have sworn we had more silverware than this. I moved here with my stuff. Tina moved in with her stuff. We just combined things. Things got combined.
Right.
And why am I looking for a spoon all the time, a fork? And Tina would ask me the same thing when she was in the kitchen. And then we would both deny, hey, I appreciate if you didn't throw them away when you clean your plate, or vice versa. And it was just really weird to notice that. But once again, you really have nowhere to put that except it's just weird. Maybe we're tripping. Maybe we really didn't have an accurate count of how many silverware we had. Who knows the exact number of forks, spoons, and knives they have in their drawer. Sure. But what brought the point home, and I guess the poltergeist was finally saying, hey, these guys ain't going to ever figure it out. We're haunting them. Okay? So let's just crank it up a notch and bring Keith and Tina in on what's about to happen. Because keep in mind, me and Tina had no brush with the paranormal. We had no interest. We didn't play with any Ouija boards. We weren't going seeking things. I'm an IT project manager. Tina was a manager in marketing. We were just trying to live a normal life.
Gotcha. Actually, that was one of my questions was, if this was the first time you experienced the paranormal or if there was stories before this house, and you just answered it, so.
Yeah. And so it was a weeknight. I remember it was a weeknight, early summer. We were sitting watching a movie downstairs, and next to the entertainment center is one of Tina's plants. It's about a 4-foot tall artificial plant. It came from Tina's apartment. She sat in this to the entertainment center. We're watching Netflix, and sometime during the night, maybe halfway during the movie, we're shoulder to shoulder. We're side by side on the couch. The plant darts up in the air. I hate to use the word levitated because when you think of levitation, you think of something floating gradually.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, no. This plant darted up vertical, straight up in the air, and did a 360-degree spin off the ground and then keeled over, meaning it fell in our direction, fell toward us.
So, like, did it, like, shoot, like, towards you guys, or just kind of, like, move forward, like, towards and fall? Like, how did that go?
Well, it's 4 feet tall, so when it darted up maybe a few inches off the ground. And it did a quick spin. I mean, leaves are fluttering and all that, and it just done a spin. Keep in mind, it's in front of both of us. It doesn't have to do much to get our attention. It's in our peripheral view. It's not even our peripheral view. It's in our direct view.
Okay.
And it does a spin, and then kind of does a jolt, and then falls over. And therefore, since it being 4 feet tall, we're about 5 feet from the TV. Is relatively close to us when it hits the ground.
Wow. That's crazy. That'd be terrifying.
And I remember, as if it happened yesterday, looking at Tina, and Tina looking at me, and we're like, did that just happen?
I can imagine.
Mean, I'm thinking, my Keith inside Keith in my head is saying, okay, we're having an earthquake, but no, Keith, veto that idea. Nothing else in the house is shaking. Not an earthquake. Plants don't rise up like that. It's not like it was leaning on something, or we had it on the coffee table or chimney or anything, and it just killed over. No, this thing darted up in the air, and to make matters worse, it spun. It did a full circle, 360-degree spin, and then fell in front of us. So me and Tina got up gradually. We did not run toward the front door, probably what we should have done. We didn't run to the front door and run down the street wailing, but we got up in our calm demeanor, and we walked toward the plant and started rummaging through it. I thought, and Tina thought too, this has got to be a prank, ha, ha, ha. Okay, this is where we realize we're on some sort of, we got prank punk TV show, or we're being house monitored, and we found the house on Craigslist, so okay, evidently there's something going on with this house from an entertainment value or
right.
a prankster value. So we're looking for a remote control device, we're looking for wire, we're looking for walkie-talkie, anything that would give us an indication that somebody's going to walk out of a closet, the balloons are going to fall down, confetti is going to be splattered everywhere, and say, ha, you're on da-da-da-da-da. You've been pranked or punked, and
see Ashton Kutcher come running through the house.
It's your consolation prize, the house and the trip to... But none of that's not happening. We wish it was happening, but as we're rummaging more through the plant, we're realizing we're not finding anything that would let us believe this is all fake or well orchestrated. So I turn to Tina turns to me, and now we start rewinding in our head the kid call.
Kind of comes back. Yeah.
Keys, the disappearing jewelry and furniture. And Tina, I forgot who said it first, is I think we have a kid ghost.
Yeah, I could see that.
The reason why we went kid ghost was the kid cough and the manner in which the plant spun. It was, it wasn't, aside from the plant levitating, and I hate to use the word levitate, but aside from the plant darting up in the air, that wasn't horrific. What was horrific about it all, in a nutshell, was just, hey, a plant just darted up in the air, but it was not the end of the world. I mean, if blood started running out of it, then, yeah, it's time to run for the door. But what sort of put our mind at ease is when we went to the internet and typed in Google, how can you tell if your house is haunted? And the internet, meaning the paranormal websites that it led us to, said, here's a laundry list of how you can tell your house is haunted. Phantom footsteps, objects missing. And it gave an example of some of the items that were missing. Car keys, jewelry, silverware, kid cough. And we were like, oh man, this is us.
So it's like the exact same. It's like the exact same events that happened to you that was on that website. That is crazy. That's awesome.
Yeah, so I mean, it was bullet points, and we fit maybe 8 out of the 10 things that it listed. Another thing that it listed that I haven't mentioned yet, but what's happening was objects were appearing in our home that neither of us owned, and they were kid toys. So we would wake up in the morning, come downstairs, and there would be kid toys spread out throughout the house, always in your direct path of walking where you could easily see it, well placed, coffee table, kitchen countertop, lamp table, staircase, stair banister, hallway bookshelf. And so, yeah, that in itself made us think, okay, kid ghost. Okay, this is not, Damon that we know of. This is a kid ghost. This is Casper. And the websites pretty much said the same thing. They were like, hey, it happens. Kid spirits, they exist. They tend to be lost, confused. What you can do is try to talk to them, try to guide them in some sort of light, let them know that your intentions are not hostile. Sort of take on a parental role with the kid ghost. Me and Tina take on a parental role. Why are you here? Ask questions like that, or can you go into the light and stuff like that. And over time, they generally get bored or get the idea and move on. Well, we had the adverse effect. That brought about more negative phenomena. And by negative, I mean plants are being thrown. Not levitating, not darting up. You got a plant that's resting in the left side of the living room, now flies across the entire room at remarkable speed and splatters and shatters on the wall.
So it's like somebody is just like throwing the plant at the wall, basically?
You and me and probably the world's best baseball pitcher could not throw a plant as fast as the plants in our house.
Wow.
I'm talking about speed, unbelievable speed, zip past you, cuts the wind as it's traveling past you. When it hits the wall, it's obliterated. I mean, it's in the shatters. Dirt and dust go everywhere. This started happening, I almost want to say every night for a period of 3 to 4 weeks in the summer of 2012. Tina brought in the home maybe 5 to 8 plants. None of them survived. They just could not. I mean, you repot the plant, the pot is destroyed, but you try to salvage the plant in a new pottery, new dirt, and the poltergeist just throws that too. And plants cannot take constant unsoiling and probably the invisible negative energy around them, and they just die. And unfortunately, all of Tina's plants die. But we didn't know these were the precursors to hell on earth that's about to happen. And it's a long, gradual process. The spirits in that home are getting me and Tina ready to the idea that things are going to get worse way before they get better for you guys. We were very naive in the sense that whenever a phenomena like that would happen, we would go to the internet, and the internet would say, yeah, okay, so obviously what you're trying to do, keep doing. Sometimes spirits throw tantrums. That's to be expected. What you have to do is be diligent, be steadfast, hold your own, and reach out to, if you can, to churches, and might be a good idea to have the house blessed. And we did. We tried everything paranormal websites told us to do. We bought in clergy. We bought in Methodist, Episcopalian, Pentecostal, Baptist, you name it, Catholic. And half of those groups were receptive. Some came in. They blessed the house. And the activity would show signs of dying down for a few days or a week. And then it would always come back. I can tell you now, one of the forever constants in that house for the duration of me living there were the constant tapping noise, the constant footsteps, pitter-patter, footstep noise, and the feeling of being watched.
Okay. And quick question: you said with the pitter-pattering on the floor, did it sound like a kid walking or running, or I mean, you can kind of tell the difference in between an adult and a child when they're running.
Yeah, this is scary. It sounded like what was scary about the pitter-patter noise was, I mean, you probably like me know, okay, from the sound of pitter-patter, was that one person or 5 people?
Right.
You know, the pitter-patter in our house sounded like 5 or more people.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It was a lot of pitter-patter. I could tell you, and there's a few chapters in my book where I mentioned this in the first book, The Bothell Hell House, of, you know, when I came home from my day of work, I always walked through the front door. We had one garage fob, one remote garage fob that I gave to Tina. Tina had the big SUV vehicle, so we parked that in the garage. So when Tina came home, she came in through the garage door, which led to the kitchen. Every time I came home through the front door, 5 p.m., 6 p.m., 6:30 p.m., if I beat Tina home, I would hear pitter-patter the second I walked in.
Like right away?
As soon as I walked in the house through the front door, I would hear pitter-patter thundering up the stairs. A few times, and I can't prove this, but a few times I would put my key into the door lock, and before I turned the key to walk into my own house, I could swear I hear a TV on. As soon as I open the door and walk in, the pitter-patter. So up the stairs. And, of course, none of the TVs are on. Tina, who I've not really told this story to you yet, because I'm still deciphering it for myself, would tell me the same stories on days she came home through the garage.
Oh, yeah.
She went through the garage door, come into the kitchen, and she said, hey, when I come in through the kitchen, I hear all this pitter-patter above my head, which above the head in the kitchen is the hallway upstairs, which leads to all the bedrooms. And we finally compared notes one day, and I was like, yeah, I hear the same thing. It's just weird. So, yeah, to answer your question, it sounded like a multiple pitter-patter, and that went on, and a few times when I would walk into the house, once the paranormal websites told me that's to be expected, I would walk into the home and I would like, hey, you guys got to go. You guys got to leave my house, leave it now, cut it out. I don't have time to deal with you tonight. Tired. And a few hours later during dinner, a plant would be thrown. The TV channel would change by itself. You know, we're in the kitchen having dinner, me and Tina, and the TV, you know, like most people, we had the TV running, watching the news or whatever.
Right.
And all of a sudden, the TV is just changing, going through 15, 12, 28 channels. No one's near the remote control. Remote control is sitting on the couch.
Huh.
You know?
Right. At this point, did it kind of seem, or was it kind of normal for you now? Like, I know you came in and told them they got to go and that kind of stuff. So did it kind of come like routine at this point, do you think? Just dealing with these kind of activities?
Yeah, you're dealing with it like almost like a pest. You're dealing with like a rodent you haven't trapped yet, right?
Right.
You're dealing with like an infestation. It sucks to have this infestation, but it's not ruining your lives yet. And you're just going through the rigmarole, the steps and procedures that, according to the procedures, says this is eventually going to work. These rodents are eventually going to get enough. They get tired of your spray, your poison, whatever. They're going to get the idea and they're going to leave. Spirits are the same way. That's the advice we're being fed. And we're doing our part. We're trying to wear the hat of, hell no, we won't go. This is our house. Keep in mind, nothing shows signs of malevolent. I mean, you could say the plant's being thrown, sort of, but yeah. But trust me, when I start telling you what's malevolent, you're going to say that's different as night and day. So Now, as we're trying to do all this stuff and live our normal lives, we still haven't had what me and Tina wanted to have was a housewarming party for our friends. You know, our friends wanted to celebrate in our new home. And just for the record and for your listeners, this home, we moved in 2012. This neighborhood was built in 2005.
Oh, so it's not that old.
This is a relatively brand new home, brand new suburb. All the houses look almost identical. All the houses were built at the same time. That's just how neighborhoods go nowadays. They all go up together.
Right.
And and we wanted to have a housewarming party. July, I think, was rolling around, and we do. We almost called it off for the fact that there's just too many items being thrown, plants and whatnot. But the friends that we're inviting over, we've already told that our house is haunted. We told our friends, hey, our house is haunted. Oh. You know? And my friends, some of them being in IT like myself, very analytical when they're thinking, thought it was cool, thought it was interesting. You know, nothing's going to deprive them of a night of partying. Nothing.
Absolutely.
So we said, all right, me and Tina, we're going to hold this party, you know, and we'll just be observant. We'll be cognizant. And then we'll just be mindful. And everybody coming in knows that our house is kind of weird.
That's fair.
And we'll just keep their glasses full and make it through the night.
Watch out for the plants, you know.
Yeah, watch out for plants, and, you know, you're good, right? Well, midway through the night, you know, I'm in charge of the meat. I'm barbecuing meat on the Barbie outside. So I'm making trips in and outside the house repeatedly. And every other time I go outside, the sliding door would lock me out. I'd be locked out. And I was constantly banging on the glass of, hey, can y'all let me in? I got this meat I'm holding. Can y'all let me in? And it happened so many times that one of my friends, while laughing, said, dude, why you keep locking yourself out the house? And I was like, I'm not. I can't lock myself. You can't lock a sliding door from the outside. I close the sliding door. I leave a crack in it, and when I'm coming back, it's locked. Another thing we noticed that night was the front door would always be open. People would come in. Halfway through the night, somebody like, keep your front door is wide open. Or a phantom doorbell ring. You would hear the doorbell, and you're like, I got it, I'm going to get it, and then nobody's on the other side of the doorbell. All the women, it's about 7 or 8 women, Tina's friends and some of my friends, are telling Tina, the women, that something is combing their hair.
Yeah, that would freak me out.
Something is pulling their hair. Something is shoulder bumping them. And these are women, a few who don't know each other, a few who don't know the other. One female has reported the same thing, but they're all reporting it to Tina because they know her.
Oh, yeah.
And a few of them know about ghost problem, and they're trying to say, hey, is this related to your ghost? Could your ghost be? And Tina would just look at them bewildered because that phenomenon we haven't experienced yet. I mean, I don't have any here, but we haven't experienced yet. And Tina would look at me across the room. I would sometimes be in earshot of the conversations and look at Tina. She'd look at me, and we're like, uh-oh. And so, yeah, and then just the other, the upstairs of problem with the Wi-Fi. The DJ, my friend, is having trouble tapping into my Wi-Fi. We've hooked them up several times. His equipment, his batteries, everything he's trying to do to keep the party moving. He's having a hard time from an electrical, technical standpoint, and it's become nerve-wracking. So, but fast forward, the evening's over. We've made it through the entire evening, and nobody got, crazy didn't erupt outside of the little nuances I just told you about. But everybody goes home except 2 of Tina's friends. Her best friend and her best friend's mom hang around. cleaning up the house, me and Tina, still having drinks. Tina's in the kitchen loading up the dishwasher. I'm moving about the house. Tina's friends are sitting on the couch. And everybody's just chit-chatting, right? We're just sort of laughing, lollygagging, glad the evening's over. Food was good. Keith, congratulations. Tina, drinks were great. You guys were great hosts. And all of a sudden, a plant goes flying across the room. Now, I was not facing in the direction of the plant, but Tina's friend was. What I saw out the corner of my eye zip past me, and I heard the crash. And Tina's friend was facing the direction of where the plant was thrown and saw the entire thing.
So was this the first time that I'm sorry.
Huh?
Was this the first time that somebody witnessed the plant other than you and Tina?
Yes. Yeah, that's the point I want to make here for your listeners. This is an outside source, an outside person. They've heard the phenomena over and over. They believe us over and over and over. They're our friends. But seeing is believing, and words cannot explain what you see with your own eye. So when Tina tells, hey, plants go flying on my house, oh, really? Yeah, that's interesting. But when you see it with your own eyes, it's different.
Oh, absolutely.
So Tina's friend leaps up off the couch and said, what was that? And everybody heard the crash. I mean, the plant's obliterated, the pottery is broken, and we all come from our vicinity of the room and converge in the sort of the hallway, if you will, downstairs, the corridor, I should say, where the plant broken up. And everybody's looking at this obliterated plant on the carpet. And me and Tina have seen this for the upteenth time. We're sort of nonchalant in our assessment, but our Tina's friends and the mom are like, what the heck happened? And Tina looked at Kim, her friend, and said, I told you my house was haunted. And Kim and I quote this in the book, Tina's like, yeah, but you didn't tell me like this. and to me and Tina's credit or discredit, we were just so nonchalant, like, girl, that happens all the time. And I was more shocked that it happened in front of other people, and I was shocked that the spirits waited for the house to be emptied to do it. The 6 other couples had already left, but the spirit says, wait a minute, I'm still going to show, part of my friend, I'm still going to show my ass to your friends. I'm just going to only show it to 2 of them. And they were honestly shocked and taken aback.
Oh, I'm sure.
And rightfully so. So Kim, still of the mindset of, oh, this is interesting. This is kind of cool in a sense, but she pulls out her iPhone and turns on her voice recorder, her app. She's not a paranormal investigator, but her iPhone has a voice recorder on it. And she's like, you got to talk to these spirits, Keith. You got to get into their mind and ask them why they're here. And we're like, we've been doing that, Kim. We've been doing that. And she said, well, no, you got to do it like this. So she starts waving her phone up toward the ceiling. Why, I don't know. And says, hey, what's your name? Why are you here? And I look at Tina, and Tina looks at me, and I look at Kelly like, you don't want to do that. Because every time we do that, something gets thrown. And sure enough, 3 loud bangs. Boom, boom, boom. And we're like, you don't want to do that, Kim. You really don't want to do that. And the bangs are loud. We've heard them before. Kim's mom, obviously older, more mature, from Louisiana, New Orleans, has seen a lot of weird things in her life. Takes on the motherly role and the senior role in saying, spirits are weird. You really don't know what's on the other side. You really don't know what you're dealing with. Y'all should not be taking this lightly, especially if they're throwing things. And what we need to do is we need to all stop what we're doing and congregate in the room where the plant was thrown. And we need to all pray. We need to all pray together. Kim, put your phone away. We need to pray, get serious. And we need to walk these spirits out of here with our prayer. And she said, I'm going to lead it, but you and Tina need to say your own prayers because y'all the custodians of this house. So the spirits have to lead by your permission, by your will, not ours. So she kicked it off, and then she advised me and Tina to pray out loud. And we did. We all got in a circular motion. We're now in the living room, the same living room that me and Tina were sitting in when the kicked off. And we're praying, and we're all saying our little prayer. I think I gave a Lord's Prayer, a thankful prayer. Tina, something similar. And it's about 15 minutes of praying, House dead silent because we paused everything, TV and all that stuff is off. And we were really serious. We were really serious and sincere in our prayer, And Kim's mom was. So now when we're done praying, we all, hugged each other, hugged. I think Tina was crying a little bit, She let a little tear out because she's very sensitive. And, it moved us to do that, and it moved us to do that with our friends. I mean, the booze done wore off. We're sober now.
I understand. that sobers you up pretty quick.
Us killed. The plant killed our buzz. But so we walked back into the den and the kitchen, right? We've been out of that vicinity, out of that earshot and eyesight for about 20 minutes, right? And the house has been virtually quiet, so quiet you could have heard a pin drop. We walk into that room, to that open area, and Ben, every kitchen cabinet door was wide open.
Oh man, that's one of them stories I haven't had happen to me, but I can imagine how terrifying that would be. I've heard it from a few people. That's crazy.
And you have to, I could tell you, my mouth dropped open, Kim's mouth dropped open, Tina's mouth dropped open, Kim's mom's mouth dropped open. And I know the reason why my mouth dropped open is two things. Is we were in the next room over, right? And we did not hear nothing. Okay? I can walk into a kitchen, open up a kitchen cabinet. You're going to hear something. You're going to hear something, be it faint or whatever.
Oh, absolutely. I've never heard a quiet kitchen cabinet. They're not made to be quiet.
Yeah. And let alone, I counted the kitchen cabinets in my house and my kitchen were over 45 of them. I'm talking about each individual door.
Jesus.
And you're talking countless doors open, the closet door, the cupboard door, kitchen cabinet doors I haven't even used yet because we're still moving in stuff. The drawers all pulled out, everything. While we were just in the next room over praying. And if you're looking back, you have to understand how these spirits, they were telling us, we're not done. Hey, it's good y'all did. Y'all had your kumbaya moment. That's good or whatever. Hey, we're still here. There's more of us here. And we're just getting started. And I remember the look on Kim's mom's face because, like I said, I turned to my elders and I turned to those who say they have experience in this. Even if it's just very minuscule, I turn to them. And I always study the researcher, the parapsychologist, the ghost hunters, or family or friends who had a similar experience. I always study their reaction because their reaction lets me know the depth of my situation.
Makes sense.
And when I saw Tim's mom's face, on the expression on her face, she had a look of worry. She was like, I've never seen that. Or better yet, that's not good. That the audacity demonstrated, the wherewithal demonstrated by this spirit means, this is going to get bad before it gets worse.
So is that the first time that you were really like, oh no, this is bigger than I thought it was?
Yes, that was one of the first times. The time that the moment that brought this point home is meaning that, okay, we need to stop laughing about this, Tina. We need to stop lollygagging about this. It's not cool anymore. was the night me and Tina were laying in our bed before going to sleep. I believe we were having a conversation about the phenomenon that happened a few hours earlier. It wasn't the housewarming party, but it was something similar. And I know we were sort of like lollygagging, and I think we were trying to tell our own psyche, hey, it's going to be okay, it's going to be all right. Let's not go crazy. Let's not go stir crazy. And I remember I either said a joke related to what was happening or Tina did. I think it was something along the lines of most Americans right now are talking about their day at work, how traffic was, how dinner was, what their friends and families are doing, what new gossip is out there in the work world or in the family world. And I think we said something and I said, but not us. We got to talk about items being thrown and plants and stuff moving. And I remember we busted out laughing. In the midst of our laughing, remember we're laying on our bed. It's pitch black because we turn all the lights off. The bedroom door slams shut. So, I mean, like thunderous shut, you know. And we stopped and we're like, oh. And Tina was very nervous about, because now the door is shut. We got to open the door. And I said, I got to open that door. I mean, something on the other side. I don't know, but I got to open it.
No, that takes bravery. And I understand that. I've had that happen to me, and it's like, shit. Now I have to do something.
Yeah, now you got to do. You can't sleep with the door closed. Hell, you got to open the door, right?
Right.
But you don't know what's on the other side. You don't know if was this the plan all along? Slam the door so Keith can open it, and then they drag you to hell. So you got to open up that door. And I remember I said, Tina, I'm gonna open up the door and stay in the bed. And Tina, I'm not staying in the bed. Tina was like almost climbing on me because she's not staying 2 inches from me while I open that door. Hell no. I'm not going to be in the movie that gets dragged out of bed while you open the door.
Oh, absolutely. We've all seen that one.
You know? So if you go, I go. So I'm like, okay, I open the door, and I poke my head out. And I could tell you now, I was very apprehensive about poking my head out my own door. Because there's so much in your mind at the moment that you really don't know what could happen. Of course, nothing happened, obviously, and the whole thing was just to shut the door and break our concentration and kill the laughter that we was having.
Right.
But that put the whole moment in perspective, and it made me, and I think I even said to myself before me and Tina went to bed, which was very hard to do,
I bet.
is, okay, we need to take this. This is, I told myself, my internal committee, that I'm going to stop looking at this from a kid ghost point of view. I know what the internet's saying. I know the internet's saying da-da-da-da-da-da. No. And I know a lot of paranormal sites are like, the word demon gets thrown around a lot, and everybody's like, oh my God, demon, demon, demon. And I'm not trying to go there yet, but I need to start looking at this from different perspectives, because actions speak louder than words. Nothing that I've experienced or Tina's experienced or seen has been of a friendly nature. The kid goes, he's not leaving me bubble gum on my stairs. He's taking things. He's throwing plants. He's not, handing me a balloon in the morning. He's not doing the dishes for me. He's not doing my laundry. He's not doing anything to say, hey, I just want to live here because you guys are cool. Right. He's doing the opposite. Now he's slamming doors in the dead of night. And I need to look at it and entertain other possibilities, and might need to get some bigger heads involved. And so I did. I started doing my research. This is summer 2012. And everything I told you started happening every night. Door slams, objects appearing and disappearing, coming downstairs, the kitchen cabinet doors open, items misplaced. You said a key here, it's over there. You said a razor here, it's in the kitchen. Your toothpaste is not by the bathroom sink anymore, it's by the kitchen sink. all these things are happening interchangeably, overlapping each other. And finally, one night, me and Tina, me specifically, because I saw it, not Tina, I finally got a face to put to the phenomena. I finally got a physical face I could associate to the hell that's happening around me and Tina. And that was the night I saw the Gray Lady. The night I saw the Gray Lady, what the paranormal community refers to as an apparition, I never heard the term apparition till 2 years, I believe, after the fact, but I was just calling it the Gray Lady or a ghost. I was in my office. This was after the housewarming party, I believe, and I was just doing what I do in my office most of the time, surfing the internet, checking email, watching TV. Tina, I remember, told me that she was going to take a bubble bath, so she went to go take a bath. And I'm just in my office it's about 8-something, 9-something at night. And we had been having lights go off and on in the house, specifically in the bedroom, it was mainly my office, going off and on. Typically, when you leave a room with the light on for a glass of water or anything, come back, the light is off.
Oh, is that right?
Or vice versa. And this particular night, I was typing away, and the light was on in the hallway and the light was on in my office. The reason why we keep the light on in the hallway now is because there's a bookshelf in the hallway that had books on it, including a few Bible or one Bible that we were advised to put out, were constantly being thrown off the bookshelf. And it's kind of scary when these things are thrown in the dark, when the hallway's dark, especially at night, so we left the light on. I was in my office typing away, and all of a sudden I heard this click. And as soon as I heard the click, the light in my office went off. It was click, now you're sitting in the dark. Well, instinctively, I thought that Tina was playing a joke on me.
That'd be pretty cruel in this house to play a prank like that.
But I was that was more instinctively because me and Tina at this time we had ruled out. We had made it a rule in our house there are to be no ghost jokes.
That's a good rule. I would think at this
we
point.
have enough ghosts to deal with. We have enough ghosts to deal with. Therefore, ghost jokes are not funny. And by that I mean you can't, touch somebody's ear when they're not looking, or pull a chair out. You can't do anything like that in our house. So, but the light went off and I heard the click. So I
I'm sorry. You still
turned toward the direction of the light, and I remember saying this. "Ha, Tina, stop playing." And yeah, because when your light switch goes off, you instinctively, because ears follow sound. I mean, your eyes follow sound. Is you look toward the direction of the light switch. It just makes sense to do that.
Oh, absolutely, that's nature.
So I turned toward the direction of the light switch, and I'm like, "Ha, Tina, very funny." I thought we said we're not going to do jokes to each other. And I look in my doorway. There's a lady standing there, a woman. And my eyes realized within a nanosecond, that's not Tina. Wait a minute. Something's in my, because this woman, this was 100% gray. She was all gray. Now, up until that moment, and probably this is because TV and movies subconsciously imprinted it in my brain, I always viewed ghosts as translucent, transparent, see-through, whatever, hovering white or whatever.
Right.
And I'm not saying that's not true, but I'm just saying what I saw was not like that. What I saw was a full-bodied woman.
So you could not see
the
through
only
her.
Thing, she's solid. She's solid, but she's all gray. And I look, and I'm not necessarily sure what I'm seeing, and this is all happening relatively fast, and she's trying to, but she's not succeeding. She's trying to dodge into the washroom, which is the room to the left of my office. She's trying to duck into the door. The door is closed, but she's trying to dematerialize or demanifest or whatever, if that's even a word.
Right.
But she's not doing it successfully.
And so,
I get up, then she turns her back to me and darts around the corner. She darts down the hallway.
so she like
I get up off the chair, still not 100% sure what I see, and go after. I'm more riding on instinct than, what the hell am I doing?
Right.
I turn the corner of the hallway, and of course, it's gone. I continue my walk until I finally get into our bedroom, and I know where Tina's at. And I go into the bathroom, and Tina is like she said she was. She's taking a bath. It's not like she ran and jumped in the tub or whatever. No, Tina's well into her bath. And Tina looks at my face. She knows I've seen something. She looks at my face and is like, what? And I said this, and I remember I saw it. And Tina's like, what? I said, no, I saw it. I saw it. She's like, what? I saw a woman. A woman just turned off my light in my office and took off running. And Tina was like, whoa, wow. Oh, you did? Really? What she looked like? It was all gray, not transparent. She had shoulder-length hair. Looked like a dress she was wearing. Didn't look medieval or 1800s. Looked sort of modern. Spaghetti thin hair, frail, weighed about $1.18, $1.10. If I had to guess her height, I'd put her around between 5'6" and 5'8". Very skinny. Looked very concerned and worried on her face. Had a look of worry, bewilderment, confusion, mischief, and and that's all you could do with that. I mean, we talked about that for the remainder of the night.
Well, sure, absolutely.
And, but I finally had a face to the phenomena. At least I made it a face. But I didn't know that these are the telltale signs of a poltergeist, in the sense of apparition sightings are, albeit rare, do happen in an activity such as ours. So everything I told you, including the apparition sighting, that was all summer and fall of 2012.
Okay.
The activity came to an abrupt stop toward late November 2012. It did. It really did.
And
we were about to, me and Tina, throw in the towel, and the activity came to an abrupt stop, or it tapered off.
And that was after you saw the lady, is when it kind of stopped?
No, the activity didn't stop after the lady. No,
oh, gotcha.
I'm telling you, the activity, the lady appeared around late July and August.
Oh, I gotcha.
The gray lady. But everything I've told you up until now kept happening until about November.
Okay, fair enough.
So it just reoccurred. Things just reoccurred. Nothing got more drastic than an occasional bar stool or plant being thrown for the remainder of the year. Phantom footsteps, hey, you just got to live with it, you got to deal with it. Lights going off, yeah, just got to live with it, deal with it. Wake up to kitchen cabinet doors open some days, some mornings, hey, just got to live with it, deal with it. Door slamming while sleeping, yeah. I traveled on business. Tina does not stay in the home when I travel on business. She stay with Kim. I'm usually gone for a week at a time, so she's not nowhere. Tina's staying in the house by herself. No way, no how. House being blessed works, but don't work. So yeah, all that's 2012.
Okay.
The things that this case is known for, Bibles burning, wall writings, objects catching fire, has not even happened yet.
That's a lot of stuff that's already happening for it not to be the big stuff. So that's pretty wild.
Yeah, that's enough right there. If had it ended right then and there, you can still do whatever you want with that.
Right. That's a whole story in itself for sure.
That's nothing. Then 2013 comes. We're now in 2013. We have no activity. None. Only thing I can point to as far as weird, but I can't prove it's an activity, is anomalies like electrical issues. The pitter-patter footsteps are gone. The plants being thrown are non-existent because they're all dead. They're gone. No more disappearing. Everything that's been disappeared has gone. We've not seen it. One of the things, I don't know if you've seen the video or know, was there were 3 Bibles that caught fire in the Bothell house.
I did see those, actually, and I saw the picture that you sent me of the Bible number 3, and that's pretty wild.
Yeah. The first Bible that caught fire in our house actually went missing summer of 2012. And the first Bible that caught fire in our house caught fire in 2014. But it had been missing almost a year and a half prior.
Oh, wow.
And the reason why, people have their different take on the Bibles in our home, most of it they are confused by. So I want to talk carefully with this one in the sense of, the paranormal teams, the churches, the clergy, everybody's trying to troubleshoot our ghost problem from their own point of view. And that's understandable. And the advice given, almost universal, was, hey, to get these spirits to get out of your house in 2012, you have to display your religious belief openly. You have to, if you got one, Bible, Quran, Torah, we're not telling you what denomination, whatever your belief is, if it's sincere and real, you need to display it, use it as a coat of armor, and these spirits will get the message. They'll fear it, and they'll leave.
I've heard
that.
So
the Bible became an object of manipulation because when you put that, and I didn't know this at the time, this is me armchair quarterbacking myself, of when you put a religious item out, like a cross or a Bible, in front of a poltergeist or malevolent spirit, not all the time, but most of the time, it's going to bring about an adverse reaction. They're not going to take that standing down or sitting down.
Right.
So I would advise, me and Tina, like I said, we put a Bible in the hallway, and the spirit would throw it off the hall. It would throw it off the bookshelf. I mean, you would literally hear a thunderous noise, and the Bible's now resting on the floor. We're told they're supposed to do that, but do it anyway. Do it a 5th time, a 10th time, 11th time. They're finally going to get the message. Open up the Proverbs, the Psalms. This particular night, I had put the Bible downstairs by the lamp table. Tina was out of town. And this is Bible number 1. I put it by the lamp table, and I was on the phone with my best friend who knew about my ghost problem, who was at the housewarming party. And he believed me 200%. And he said, you need to, we're going to pray over the phone together. And we did. He said, we're going to read a few chapters out. And we did. And then I put the Bible on the lamp table. And I went to bed. Tina's out of town. I go to bed, wake up the next day. The Bible's on my mind because we did a lot of prayer before bed.
Right.
And I'm looking for sort of semblance of that I get up out of my bed. I go open up my bedroom door. I step into the hallway landing. I'm looking over the banister. I'm on the second floor, and I can see my living room across the banister, and I can see my lamp table where I left the Bible. The Bible's gone. Okay? Bible gone.
And that's where you left it, and now it's not there, and you're the only one in the house.
I'm the only one in the house. The security system is all armed. I have to disarm it to walk downstairs, or it's going to go off. So the Bible is gone. I creep downstairs, disarm my security system, walk over to the table, confirm what my eyes are telling me, and the Bible is gone. So there you have it. Now, Tina's out of town. She comes home later that night. I tell her the story. That's 2012. We don't see the Bible for almost a year and a half.
Wow.
And what happens in 2014 is pretty much what this case is known for, in the sense of the phenomena we experienced in 2014 is way more drastic than what we experienced in 2012. And that's not to make 2012 feel lightly, because it's not. But when it comes back, and they were right in their assessment, a lot of websites said when the poltergeist phenomena comes back, it always comes back 10 times worse.
Oh, is that right? Huh.
They do everything that they were doing before they left in conjunction with new stuff. You know, we're not doing kids talks to you anymore, Keith. We're not doing disappearing silverware. I mean, we're going to do that. We'll do that, but that we're going to start off where we left off.
Right. So where do you think they were in 2013? Like, why did nothing happen for over a year, do you think? Is there any reasoning?
That's a good question. Short answer is nobody really knows for sure. But poltergeist, in the grand scheme of things, in poltergeist literature, activity can't die off. Nobody knows why. Me and Tina didn't change anything. We did everything we did advised to do. It was written that the activity would eventually dissipate, and it's almost a 60% chance that you're not going to have any more stuff. But if you do, oh my God, you're in a world of hurt. So we just got to look on the positive side and hope you guys don't get the 40%. And we did, unfortunately. So, but on the long story side of it, I told Tina, and we talked about this a lot, is I never felt the spirits left. One of the things I differ with the paranormal, for lack of a better word, establishment is they tell you, they leave and come back, or if they leave and they come, and my based on what I've lived and seen, no, they don't leave. Okay, the poltergeists that were in our house, they brought the activity back in 2014. It's not like they left and came back. Nobody is leaving Keith's house and going to Connecticut or Brazil or Taiwan.
They're not on vacation.
Say, it's 2014. Let's go back to Keith and Tina's house. No. Spirits go docile, okay? They go quiet. They go hibernation. They go whatever. They run their campaign, and they're done. They're done. I mean, a poor example I can use is the movie Jeepers Creepers, where the spirit comes back every 20 years.
Yeah,
he's just, he's 20 years. He's going to raise hell. Once he wakes up, he raises hell. Oh my God, he raises hell. But once he's run his campaign, it's copacetic again. So poltergeist phenomena is sort of like that. Nobody knows why they go docile. Did they run out of energy? Maybe. But something triggered it to come back in a year and a half's time frame, and it did. And then it brought back bigger forces, almost to suggest like, oh, you guys are still here. Oh, okay, well, all right. Because keep in mind, other families have lived in the home between me and Tina, before me and Tina, and only one had activity similar to us, but we'll talk about that in the timeline. And other families did not. So something triggered it. But no, I never thought the spirits left. Tina thought they left. I told her, I don't feel like they left. My sixth sense tells me they're just asleep. But I'm not going to look a gift horse in the mouth. I'm not going to go looking for them. And we did. We went back to living our lives and making the house a home. Well, January 2nd, 2014, I had a mysterious fall coming down the stairs.
All right, I think that's a good place to stop for part one. And again, that is just part one. What you just heard is only half, even if half, of this whole story. And it only gets crazier here. So, so on episode 7, you'll hear the rest of this story, and it gets crazier and crazier and crazier. But again, that's just a good place to leave off here for episode 6. I hope you guys really enjoyed it. Again, check out Keith's website at demonsinseattle.com. Check out his books regarding the Bothell Hell House. Check out his documentary on YouTube, and his YouTube page is Keith L. And you can find him on Twitter and pretty much everywhere else. And be sure to keep listening to my show here. I hope you guys are enjoying it. You can find me on Twitter at Paranormal Axetvities. You can find me on Facebook at Paranormal Axetvities. You can email me at paranormalaxepodcast@gmail.com if you want to tell me a story, ask me questions, get on the show, anything. I'm open to pretty much anything. You can find me on Apple, Google, Stitcher, basically wherever you get your podcast. And let's just keep learning together.